that. Oh yeah. All right, week 16 of the Corvette build. Starting to get into some final assembly sort of stuff now. So just finishing up the wheelie bar extensions now. When we got the wheelie bars, the top bar was solid, which is fine. That works perfectly fine, but for where we were mounting them, our top bar mounts were a little bit further forward than our bottom bar mounts. So our wheelie bars were sitting up like they are now, which you can't see the car, but they're about maybe 6 inches to 10 inches too high. So we've had to put these over pipes on there. Just cut the pipe from where it used to be to here, straight down there, slipped our piece of pipe over the top, and then welded down the bottom here, and a little rosette as well. But then we've put a quick pin there. So I've drilled these pipes to sit so that when we're going around the pits, loading the car up into the truck, the wheelie bars aren't stuck down into that low position and bending and carrying on and getting caught on stuff. So the position they're in at the moment is more of a serviceable position when you're going up on pro jacks, stuff like that. So the boys can lift the wheelie bars up and they're well out of the way of the ground and don't give us any fats. So when we get the car down on the ground with the proper tyres on it, ready to go, fully loaded, we'll drop the bars down, put something like this piece of wood under there, about 4 inches, set that under there, drill our second set of holes, which will be our race holes, and then the quick pins will go through that, and that's where they'll be put down to for when we're racing down the track. So about to lock them away now, got the second slip over in the paint booth, about ready to get painted, and then we'll be moving on to mounting ECU, tranny dump, stuff like that, and locking away those 2 final panels in the front of the car tomorrow. And we'll also be heading off to get some paint done. So Dad's nearly finished rubbing down the Corvette front end now, and we're about to load them up into the truck and head down to B&B Smash.
All right guys, we've reached hump day this week and we're actually going to B&B Smash today to drop the body and front end off to get painted. So I just want to give you a quick rundown of who Mark from B&B is and what he's done for us over the years. So this car here, this Datsun, the old man actually worked for Mark at one stage and painted this in Mark's shop all the way back 30 something years ago, whenever it was. And then he also painted this one of my faves, Brutal. Very successful in Super Sedan, and this was actually at the Winters, this photo, so did a bit of travelling with it too. Mark also painted this one. I don't know if many of you will remember this, but this is when Dad ran in Supercharged Outlaws, his first funny car. He also painted this one, claimed a fair few top comp wins and national championship, stuff like that. He also painted the juniors back in the day. Here's a little close-up of the beast. There you go. There's Connie. There's Big Dog. Not bad. He also painted one of Dad's last cars, this green altered. It's got the green with a nice sort of yellow pearl under it. Pretty flash paint job, looked killer. That's Hemi life. The only cars Mark hasn't painted of ours is the 2 slime ones, and they were painted in the shed. But nowadays the shed's just a little bit too dusty and it's a little bit too cold this time of year to be doing that. So we're going to take it to Mark, and we can't wait to see how it turns out. It's going to be mint.
Mate, nothing gets me smiling more than taking my big Scania for a drive. Usually because we're going to a racetrack, but at least we're going for a drive and we're getting some work done on the beast, and we're going to a proper workshop today, boys. So everyone, have you got your safety gear on, all the correct gear? Right, let's do it. Photo.
I thought I'd finish all the rubbing down, get out of the shop, and the big boss says 320 grit was no good. So he's hooked me up with some 500, and now I'm going to rub the whole car down again with 500. I just love this shit. That's the problem, a huge one like that.
The dry
The dry spray on that top of that skid.
Coat 1.
Nice. That's fucking nice.
Hell yeah!
Fucking Mason Industrial, baby. Some nice glossy gear. Okay, we're back from paint. We've been back and forward to B&B's a couple of times over the last few days. Everything turned out mint. We loved our nascent. Like, this was nascent industrial coating, and it's come up like absolute show paint. So it just shows you don't have to have the top quality product. As long as you do nice preparation and have a good painter involved, you can get a real pro finish with a budget paint. So big shout out again to Mark at B&B's for helping us out, as he has done for the last 30 years. Yeah, we've just left the roof and quarters and the front end. We've left them in the truck for a few days with the doors cracked open, just so they can cure up a bit more and just have a bit of ventilation through there. So we'll be pulling them out the next few days, start fitting the windows. We're going to bond these wings on, and stuff's really going to start happening. Another thing we just landed in the shop was our new 5-stage Marosso oil pump, which looks like a fuel pump off a Perkins 12-litre diesel, but
Fucking hell. The fuck? Jesus Christ. That's what I said.
I'm sure it's going to be a great upgrade from our little Marosso single stage. So that's why we've fitted the oil tank to the car, and we're really looking to improve the oil system on the car. So we'll have 3 stages drawing from the sump, when we get our sump back from Tony Wood Fabrications. We'll have one for vacuum, which we never had a vacuum pump on the car previously. So what we lose in turning this great big slug, we may pick up on getting some vacuum out of the engine. So that'll be probably in next week's episode, fitting up this oil pump, and things are moving along nicely.
I feel like in there or use for it.
Pretty tight there.
All right, we're mounting up the wings now, and as we talked about in earlier episodes, we're not going to load these wings up with bolts. We're going to bond them on with our X-Tack mounting. It's basically like a sticker flex. We use it on our truck. Killer gear. It's got a little gauge on there, and I've just put a bead around the outside, keeping a little bit away from the edge it's going to be showing, because that'll spread out. Ends up being about 3mm coverage, but it's got a nice little gauge on it, so we just put a few little extra bits down the middle here, and that little V just tells you your thickness you're going to go. And there was some Clecos first, and then when the adhesive dries, we'll change the two little end ones to M5 bolts, and then we'll be good.
Now, what I think we should do,
I've run over the thing.
yep, is start working it back.
Alright, so Clecoed are on, and now we're just pushing it down. And you can actually adjust it for the highs and lows, and you can just drop it down to whatever height suits you. So just working our way along the panel like that, from one end to the other. And do the same at the bottom, work from the start, work our way down. It's bloody nice gear, this. Second time, and we just close the gap up to where it's what we're happy with, which will end up being a 3mm.
Just careful how fucking hard you're pushing on that. Just gotta move it because it's fucking sagging. Oh, it's looking big.
Up and down.
You wang it on there, and then I'll adjust those. You always. Now, what are we using for to go into those? What size are they?
Okay, Sunday night, this is going to wrap up the week for us. Brad and Bailey have yanked the motor, the turbos, everything out. We've got this down to complete knickers and bras, so I'm going to blow some 2-pack black over this engine bay, and then we're going to load everything in for the last time. We're going to P-clip all the brake lines, fire lines, and that'll be it all loaded up for the final time. So that's why the motor and everything's been pulled out. Connor's got to work on mounting the Nexus R5 and everything that's needed in there. So that's all removable with deuce fasteners. That's all you need to run like a car like this. Compare it to some of the other ECUs on the market. It's so much smaller and so much more compact. So the Haltech is really a great system, and it's really served us well. The other thing that we got onto was finishing off this head padding. So they're all mounted, and all we're going to do with them now is cover them with a bit of fabric. But even that, we don't have to do that to run the car, but we're just going to do that to make it aesthetically nice. And yeah, it was very easy to work with. If you just go and steal the wife's bread knife out of the kitchen, you can chamfer it and shave it, and it's just the bread knife just works beautiful for making any, and you can also sand it with paper, but I always raid the missus' craft room and her kitchen for scissors and knives and stuff like that. So that keeps me in the good books, no worries there. The other thing was final drive, hooked us up with the tail shaft. We dropped it off there 2 days later. It was all balanced, done, ready. So it's really great to have companies. I mean, I've been using Phil Purser and then now Bruce in more recent times, and the service is just as great as it's always been. So that's ready to go. We've got diff oil in it now. Just tying up all the loose ends. Over to our list, we've knocked 75% of everything off the list. And I do have to apologise for whoever put that post up about the fake reveal in the car. That was very naughty, but we are very close, and we're probably going to refrain from showing the car in its complete finished state until we do the reveal, which is going to be within a couple of weeks. So bear with us, be patient, and like, comment and subscribe, and within a couple of weeks you're going to get to see her in all her glory.